Oh my God.
I just don't have it in drive.
Put it in drive. Come on, up the rack. What's going on, guys? MechanicPro Secrets here today with my first wrenching video on an 07 Crown Vic. Yep, a Ford Crown Vic. But that's alright, because today we're going to teach you something about sensors and wire repair. And maybe some other stupid stuff here and there. But anyways, enjoy. Ford Crown Victoria with the 4.6 liter V8 2-valve. This is one of our school cars that we use to diagnose an engine performance. And today we are going to switch out a very important input sensor for the engine. It is the Crankshaft Position Sensor. The Crankshaft Position Sensor, usually located in the front or the rear of the engine, either by the flex plate, flywheel, or the harmonic balancer in the front, will tell the PCM, Powertrain Control Module, when cylinder 1 is ready to fire. This is how your engine keeps in time. This is how your engine knows which fuel injector and which spark plug to fire. And without this sensor, your engine will not start, or it'll crank and it won't fire because it cannot determine where piston number 1 is in relation to the others. So it doesn't know when to fire the injectors to the plugs. So this is a very important sensor. It's one of the first sensors besides the engine coolant temp sensor that it will look at before it starts. And we know we have a bad sensor in this car. We're going to be replacing the connector's bad in this car. We're replacing the connector. When we pull up a data stream when we're cranking the vehicle, it shows NA, non-applicable. And sometimes if you wiggle the connector around, you'll get about 200 RPMs reading while the vehicle is cranking. And the connector is loose, so you can unplug it by hand. So we're gonna repair that real quick and I'll show you guys how. So we have the vehicle up on the lift right now. We come under it, and this crankshaft position sensor is in the front of the engine, right here. This connector right here, next to your harmonic balancer, is a crankshaft position sensor. And you can see it's very loose in there. I was able to tug it out and pull it out. This will cause intermittent and possibly permanent no crank and no start conditions, because it is not reading an input, sending it to the PCM on where piston 1 is and if the engine's even cranking or not. It doesn't know, so it doesn't fire the spark plugs or the injectors. So what we're going to do is we are going to replace this connector, and possibly we're going to replace that sensor as well. Kind of hard to see up in here, but it looks like the tabs in the sensor are broken, and for some reason it's been zip tied in there, which is not acceptable. So we are going to replace the sensor and we're going to solder in a new connector. The two wires that are coming off of the crankshaft position sensor, one is a ground wire and the other is a output or signal wire. How a crankshaft position sensor works is there is a little metal disc with teeth. Let's see if we can find it. It's probably in the inside of the engine. On this one, I believe this is actually internal. It's attached to the crankshaft. And this little disc has a bunch of teeth in it with spacing between them. And one of them has a spacing that's a little bit greater than the other, or a little bit less, and that determines which one is cylinder 1. The sensor itself is a coil. It's a magnetic coil, and it picks up the metal teeth on the reluctor wheel as it spins around and around, creating a sine or an AC voltage, AC signal wave. And that is used by the PCM to determine by the voltage in where piston 1 is in position, so it knows when to fire. So here I have the new harness, the new connector. I was able to scrap one off another Crown Vic. We have a bunch of them here. So we're going to take this one, we're going to strip it, and we're going to simply connect it back on. The wires match, so it's easy to go. And I'll show you guys when it's finished. Now what we're using here to connect these wires is a heat shrink with solder in the middle. How this works is you put the two wires into it together. I haven't fully shrunk them yet because I'm waiting till I get this other one on. And that silver piece is solder, and when the two wires connect, you melt them with the heat gun, a torch, something that gets hot enough to melt that. And it creates a seal that is good for working and replacing and repairing wires outside that are exposed to elements, salt, rain, road debris, and it creates pretty much a perfect seal that will not let anything get inside of it and maintain proper connection with little to no resistance. Okay, so we have them shrunken down together for a nice tight seal. The wires are touching, kind of hard to see. Let's see if we fix that. The wires in there are touching and the solder is melting. So we are going to plug this back into our crankshaft position sensor, which is right here. This little connector right here. And we'll get back in the car and start it, see how it works. Alright, we're back with our 07 Crown Vic. We repaired the crankshaft position sensor connector. A few other things need to be repaired, as you can see down here, but we need to start. And she starts. Lit up like a Christmas tree, but that's alright. My deed is done. Alright guys, so what you saw there was the first wrenching video I will have on this channel. It's more wiring repair and how a crankshaft position sensor works. Diagnosing it, the crankshaft position sensor was okay. It was the connector that would keep shaking loose and causing the car to stall out in the middle of testing it. So we replaced that. And there's a little bit of how to repair wires. It's not too bad, but it's certainly different repairing wires that are exposed to outside elements than something under the dash. Under the dash, you don't necessarily have to have heat shrink butt connectors, but it does help. It's helpful to have, but especially when you're working on something that's going to be exposed to salt, road debris, water, it's good to have that stuff because it makes a seal that nothing can get into it pretty much. Other than that, though, I will keep the videos up. I'll do maybe one wrenching video a week, something simple that you guys can understand and use to help you guys, like whatever you guys want to learn out. Leave a comment down there, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, maybe a comment if you guys are feeling like that, and subscribe or share it. If your buddies want to learn something, I'll have more videos up, have them subscribe. But today, before I leave, I went to Walmart with my roommate with a budget, $5. To see what $5 can get you at Walmart, and there's only two things I needed. And hopefully I was gonna see if I can get them for $5. And the answer was yes, for a whopping total of $3.98. That was provolone cheese and fruit punch. What a weird combination, you might ask, but you need provolone cheese. What else are you gonna put on your sandwiches? You got American cheese, but that's for burgers. You got Swiss cheese, you could put that on burgers too. And then fruit punch, because who doesn't need Simply Lemonade fruit punch? It is the best thing out there, especially when you have a nice cold glass before you start off and go to class and go to work. It's good to have. So anyways, guys, that is it for today, and I will see you guys later.